BEYLA. Thank you, Matt. Can everyone hear me okay? Great. I'm counting down already. So I am Daniel Callis. I am the founder of BEYLA. I'm very excited to be talking to you about the future of finance. Before we talk about the future, I think it's worth just looking at sort of the evolution. How have we got to where we are today? And certainly for a lot of our time in financial services, it was the human touch. It was the branch. It was the sort of going in and having a guided meeting with somebody who understands you, can work with you. Technology changed that, and it changed it for the better in many ways. We moved into digitalization, paper, manual processes moving away. The internet came through, and we're ending up now where we're at FinTech 2.0, as we call it, which is the era of mobile. Fantastic in terms of convenience, but also app overload. And for me, 2026, banking is still broken. And if you look at the picture there, this is part of what we're talking about in terms of why some of the challenges are prevalent in terms of technology moving forward in the way of the opportunity that stands in front of us. And certainly we look at SMEs, so we're building a solution for SMEs, and roughly about half of SMEs today have no dedicated financial support. For many of them, everything's too late, too fragmented, and too stressful. And certainly it's not a very clear picture here, but actually for many people, if you're trying to do your banking on your phone with a deadline, actually it's as blurry as that when you're trying to utilize and figure out how to make it work. And actually the problem isn't intelligence, it's architecture. So if you think back to that picture of the layered platforms, that's the reality of many financial institutions. They're built over and over and over, layer upon layer upon layer. And effectively those systems weren't built for generative AI and the future which is in front of us. And many of those systems, many of those firms have huge data lakes. They have lots of information, far too much information in many ways, and that information doesn't have context. So if you try and take agents and put them into the lake, that lake gets murky very quickly. And my friend here isn't the happiest agent in the world. And the reality is, what does that mean for the business and consumers? Bad data equals bad outcomes. So meet BEYLA, and I'm going to be quiet for a moment and let BEYLA introduce who she is and what she's doing for our SMEs.
Hello everyone, it's great to be here. I'm BEYLA. I'm responsible for BEYLA Hive, our AI native business operating system built to support small businesses day to day. We work like a digital CFO team, helping our members forecast cash flow, understand what's coming next, orchestrate payments, and make confident financial decisions. The Hive is a collection of specialized agent teams. Each one focuses on a specific domain. Together, we analyze what's happening across the business. We surface meaningful insights and guide decisions. Our members always remain in full control. We're building a hive mind of collective intelligence, predictive, proactive, and explainable, designed to help businesses grow through safe, responsible, and transparent insights. Daniel, back to you.
Thank you, BEYLA. And this is all built within the sandbox. I'm not going to go into the details here too much. There's a lot of words on the slide here, but what we're focusing really is around sort of some of the metrics. Cost to serve, how much can we change the cost to serve dynamics of using those agent teams rather than the traditional teams of primarily humans? The resolution rate, how much is BEYLA getting correct within that infrastructure, the accuracy of that guidance, and obviously incredibly important, the compliance grade explainability. So do we know what has happened, why it's happened, and how can we explain that? Actually, rather than me talk about that, this is a live demo, not live here, but actually live of us recording within the sandbox, and actually let BEYLA work through some examples.
Hi BEYLA, we're here at the Supercharged showcase and want to show off some of your capabilities and what you can help SMEs with in the future.
Hi there, great to meet you. I'm BEYLA and I'm here to help small and medium-sized businesses feel more in control of their money. I can help owners understand where their cash is going, keep track of income and spending, spot trends early, and get clear answers in plain English. Whether it's checking balances, reviewing recent transactions,
BEYLA,
planning.
Can you give financial advice?
can help with guidance and insights, but I don't give regulated financial advice. What I can do is explain what's happening with your money, highlight patterns or potential risks, and help you think through options in a clear, practical way. For example, I can show cash flow trends,
What about
flag when...
payments? Sorry, BEYLA, can you move money between accounts for me?
I can help get things ready, but I wouldn't move money on your behalf without your approval. I can show you which accounts have available funds, suggest a sensible amount to move based on upcoming payments, and guide you step by step through a transfer. The final confirmation always stays with you. So you remain...
Once I give that confirmation, yeah?
Yes, that's right. Once you've reviewed everything and given clear confirmation, I can help you carry out the transfer safely and smoothly. I'll make sure you understand what's moving, from where and what.
Not much time, so that's perfect. Thanks so much. Bye.
So that's a bit about BEYLA. This is the team behind BEYLA. And I want to call out some of our advisory team. We've only got a few of the people shown here, but we've got actually about 25 strategic advisors that have been fantastically supportive of us, helping us over the last 18 months. We've been building out the concept from BEYLA into actually reality. And this is everything from very senior group CEOs of large financial services companies through to direct SMEs who are at the coalface managing and running their business here, as well as some fantastic partners that we're working with to take BEYLA live. So really, we talked about FinTech 2.0, we're building FinTech 3.0. We want to transform the experience and deliver the era of agency. You can contact us here. Please feel free to scan the QR code, sign up on BEYLA.ai, and my details here if you want to connect via LinkedIn. And thank you very much for listening today.
Thank you. I really like the way that that demo had the person interrupting the AI.
He likes to talk.
Yeah, well, I think you might find in the future that might work against him when they all take over. Oh, we've got lots of questions. Great. I don't know where to start. I'm going to start with you.
I've actually been asked to give advice. I'm a lawyer,
okay.
and my job is sort of consumer protection side of things. Where you have an AI tool that's been instructed to carry out certain transactions, there is a risk then that later down the line, some of these transactions are disputed. So, for example, if they enter into a loan to buy a particular product, there are some legal questions there around whether that was actually a contract, whether they've actually given consent and all of that. Have you thought about all of that?
We have indeed, and we're developing and sort of have quite a comprehensive digital twin framework. So effectively, it's understanding that concept. Actually, the agents primarily work for you as the SME, the owner. And if you think about an SME company, it's not one person, often it's many people. So each actually individual within that company has access to BEYLA, has their own effectively dedicated agent. It has memory for them, it has context for them, has security for them. So that is all secured around that. All of that explainability and all of that context, the history we store, we keep, and is available as part of any dispute process.
Thank you. We've got a question up the back. Yep.
Thank you for that demo. On your slides, you mentioned that you're aiming to get to 100% explainability. Where are you now, and what are you doing to get to 100?
So we've been working with the constraints of the sandbox. So we wanted to build it within that sandbox rather than outside. BEYLA ourselves, so we're not licensed, we're pre-licensed. We're working with the FCA. That's our future path. So ultimately, we're working within these sandbox environments. Right now, with the volume of information, we're at 100%. We can explain everything that happens. As we get scale, as we start to build out from that, our focus is still, we want to be 100%. That's why we want to keep that focus around context. We're not taking air and squishing it into a traditional banking platform. We're building a new banking architecture that's built for AI.
I saw another one up the back. Wow.
On one of your slides, you mentioned that your target accuracy is 90% plus. I wonder if that is sufficient because we're dealing with money. It's a very sensitive issue.
That's where we're starting. So that's only going to go upwards. And we don't want to sort of shoot ourselves in the foot too much by saying everything's got to be 100% because we've got to build this and learn. But certainly we want to start out with some aggressive targets. We think what we're building here meets those targets, and it's only going to get better.
Okay.
Good morning, Luke Jacobs. Question, the data you get here, because a lot of SMEs like ourselves, we have more than one bank account for very good reasons. Do you aggregate those transactions of your different banks you work with into your platform, and where does it work like that? Or are you a standalone bank that does that in that way? Because otherwise you're not getting all the transactions that you need to make the right decisions probably.
So today we're a technology company. Our pathway is to have electronic money institution license. So we will be an EMI from the UK FCA framework. So we'll be able to hold and issue electronic money. And very much we will be able to aggregate and work with other banks via open banking and potentially open finance, as open finance is on that roadmap to come down the path, as you see it as an aggregation part for all of that activity. Yes. So, and the reason we wanted to be that, and not just a technology layer, is because without that ability to control and have the money movement, it becomes dumb quite quickly. So if I try to plug into your bank that today doesn't have the right framework, the agents get lost. So we want to pull that in. The challenge we will have is in terms of what we can get via those APIs. So the data we bring in from your ABC banks won't be as good as the data we have, but certainly it will be everything we can pull from that.
Thank you.
I think I saw one more question.
I think I have the mic, but actually a similar question to the previous person, so I'll hand over to the next question.
You might have to take it because I don't have a mic down here, but I'll yeah, if you want to.
Well, I'm happy to do a follow-on question to the last one if you want.
Yeah.
So to the point that you made around the overarching architecture layer, I guess the question that I have then is from a go-to-market point of view, you're effectively putting yourself straight up against a Monzo and a Revolut upfront and building a banking stack before putting all the analytics on the front of it. So I guess I question why you feel or where you feel BEYLA will be able to achieve that versus maybe Monzo's Revolut, so the guys who already have a modern tech stack and can plug this stuff in over the top.
They have a modern tech stack, and nothing against Monzo, Revolut, fantastic companies, but they're over a decade old. Those tech stacks were built 10, 15 years ago, so they weren't built for agentic AI. They were built for microservices. There's a lot of human-in-the-loop activities within that. We're building a very different architecture to Monzo, Revolut. We're not taking that bank model and putting BEYLA on top of it. We're taking BEYLA and building financial services into it.
Great. And just one more question.
In regards to the APIs with the bank, have you done any horizon scanning to understand whether there would be appetite to give you access to data, because it's a two-party transaction, right? The client and the bank.
So under open banking, they have to. So we have to, they can't restrict us from the client data because it's the client's data, not their data, as in the other banks. The challenge always is into how much you can go past the open banking standards. Potentially we can upload other information, and outside of the banking framework, as into the statements and balances, we can look to upload additional documents into BEYLA, so the ability to upload that information, BEYLA to understand it and build that memory context, because the more you speak to BEYLA, the smarter it gets, the more it understands you, the ability it has to help you.
Okay, thank you very much, BEYLA. All right, so